You could even make the last 4 months the best 4 months, or you could let the last 4 months make you just another, or make it just another time in the year. You know who it is. It is your girl, Jamila Moore, the attorney, the business strategist, your superpower and lethal weapon. I'm here to help you start and grow your business the right way and legally protect your business, your brand, and your profits through trademarks, contracts, copyrights, and compliance. You know who else I have here with me? The one and only marketing strategist, fractional CMO, Malika.
Hey, hey, y'all. We are back at it again. I am Malika Shea, your marketing strategist and sales strategist, I'll add. I've helped Fortune 500 companies generate over $1 billion in sales and revenue, and I am your business's secret weapon to creating, competing, and conquering your industry. And today, guys, last week we talked about helping you plan for your launch. This week, we're going to be talking about promoting it. Why? Because without promotion, you're not going to get the sales. So I'm super, super excited, right? I'm super excited. Yeah, I know I can be a little goofy at times, but I'm super excited today. Let's get into it, Jam, about how we want to start and helping uh, the folks out there um, promote their service or the product that they have. I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm actually going to just operate in full Coach Jam mode today, right? Because yes, we know like the attorney is here, but I want to talk to the people who have really been struggling. And they've been struggling to do the one thing that you have to do in order to really be successful in your business. And that is actually having the confidence to show up. So, to someone
Mm,
watching this today, I need you to write down, jot down, put it on your mirror like they used to do with Mary Jane, and write, I will show up. You
yes.
cannot actually promote a product that you won't show up to promote. Right. And so if you have the plan, if you haven't gone back, you need to go back and watch last week. But if you have the plan, if you don't show up to promote the plan, then it doesn't even matter. So you making the decision that, hey, this is important to me. This is important to my future. This is important to the people who are waiting on me. So I am going to show up, and whatever fear, doubt, worries that I'm grappling with, I'm going to figure out how to navigate that and go to God and ask for help. Why? Because He has given us a spirit of power, of love, and a sound mind. And
Yes.
so we can't promote something if we're hidden, right? So somebody else needs to write down, hiding season is over.
Hiding season is over. It's over. And again, with that product or service that we are promoting and trying to get out there, we got to remember it's not about us. It's the people who is out there waiting for what it is that we have to bring to the masses, to the world, right? And so I think when we step away from being selfish, if you will, I don't know, like, is it, I think it's kind of selfish, right? It's selfish to keep that gift that God has given us to ourselves and be scared to put it out there. So we want to be able to, as Jam said, we want to be able to show up, right? Show up, show out, and be our best and brightest self when it comes to promoting, your launch. And that is the foundation of it, right? And then of course with the mindset, right, which is all part of showing up. It's all about the mindset. So starting out with that, let's talk about some of the tangible things, right, that most successful coaches and entrepreneurs do when it comes to promoting the launch that they have, or promoting the product or service that they have that they want to launch. Providing that you guys already know, you got to know who your target audience is, right? We definitely want to make sure that we have clearly identified who the target audience is. And our offer is crystal clear, right? So, providing we have a crystal clear offer, our offer is actually providing a value and a fulfilling the market the market need, and then we also want to make sure that we are crystal clear on who our target audience is. So, assuming we got all of that in place, one of the first things that I like to coach my folks on, and I know that it works, is setting your financial goal for your launch,
You do love to
right?
coach on that, Malika. You do.
Yeah. Yes, and y'all know, y'all gonna hear me talk about this all the time. If you have to set the goal, right? Why? Because if you don't set the goal, how do you know what are you achieving? What are you shooting for? Right? So we want to make sure that you set that goal. So I'm gonna give you an example. If your goal is 10K to earn for that launch that you want, that you're doing, you want to ask yourself, well, how many people do I need to sign up for this service or this product? That's for starters. Jim, you want to add anything on there?
No, I think you hit it spot on. You actually have to have a sales goal, so you have to have a target. And so I'm in a different space right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna just talk about the soft skills. I guess I'm gonna stay on the soft skills. But
Mhm.
I think about the 5 dysfunctions of team, and they talk about like trust and a lack of trust and all of that. But at the top of it is the inattention to results. If you haven't established the result, you have nothing to drive towards. So you're just out here
Absolutely.
throwing things at the wall, hoping that somebody would come and buy from you. Somebody will come and, get what it is that you are offering. So you're absolutely right.
Those goals is actually motivation to get to the next level, to get to that next
Hmm.
step. Because
Hmm.
once you say, okay, I need to make 10K, and you get that first sale, and that first sale is your first $1,000, guess what? You know that now you only have 9 more people to sign up. You're not now focusing on all of the people that's out there. You're focusing
Hmm.
on just finding that 9. That's it.
Hmm.
It makes your goals a lot more attainable when you start, create those goals at the very beginning. The next thing I really want to talk about is my framework in regards to like launching is I kind of put the launch into 3 different stages, right? And so now I'm giving y'all a lot of gems. I hope
You
y'all
sure
taking
are.
notes.
I'm like you over here.
Y'all better be taking notes and ask some questions too. But the stages is like the pre-launch, the mid-launch, and then of course the post-launch. And within each of those stages, there's different activities that you need to be doing to again have a successful and a profitable launch. The main thing is though you want to be consistent, right? You want to be consistent with all of these things that I'm going to start to outline for you. Now, with the pre-launch, creating a lead generation system, that's number one. What does that mean? You might have seen lead magnet words, lead sales funnels. The word funnels get thrown around a lot. Whatever that is, you definitely want to create a some type of lead generation system. You need leads to help you get to those numbers, right? Now, we're not getting ready to, go all out with all the coaching in regards to what that will look like. Definitely reach out to us, me, the marketing person. Jam also is a business strategist, so she can also help out with some of those questions in regards to that. But and the details of that. But definitely, you want to create some type of lead generation system to attract those emails and those leads in. Once you get that, now you want to segment it through email marketing and email segmentation. Go ahead, Jam. I see you.
Because that's another one of your favorite words is
Yeah.
that segmentation. And it's so funny because I got an email today from somebody who's trying to do a launch, right? So once you know the process and the skills, you know when someone's trying to launch to you. And I was just like,
Right.
she hasn't segmented her list. She doesn't know
Because
Malika.
I'm not her audience, right?
Yeah, no, because it's just like this should actually be to the people who did X, Y, and Z. But
Right.
when they don't invest in knowing actually what marketing is or having that person on staff, you make those launch mistakes. And
Mhm.
so then you miss the opportunity to really promote and get the data that you need to extract to know your next step because you're talking about the
Absolutely.
pre, the mid, and the post, right? Well, during each of those parts, you need data to figure out your next step in promotion, right? And so without data, you're just going out there and slapping slapping ads out, slapping marketing campaigns out, but you could actually just place it there if you have the right data, which comes from segmenting
Exactly.
and unpacking things in that way.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that. I cannot preach segmentation enough. And some people might be like, what is segmentation? And basically what it is just it's just putting your email list into buckets, right? Different buckets that's according to their actions that they take when you send out an email to them. That's ultimately what it is. Again, you need help. Holla at your girl, marketing strategist. I will definitely walk you guys through, how to set that up and what that all means. But that is so, 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 so important. Another part of the pre-launch is also to creating a content strategy, right? So now we have your lead magnet, we have your email, and then we have your social media content strategy.
Mhm.
Not just posting to randomly post. There is such a strategy in, when it comes to posting and promoting any type of product or service that you have. You want to add anything on there, Jam?
Yeah, and I think when you are posting during that phase, you want to be leaning into one, how am I establishing credibility and believability about what it is that I'm about to deliver? So
Right.
that is so important. The other thing that you want to do is you kind of want to get ahead of any questions that people may have lingering in their head about what it
Exactly.
is that you're going to offer, right? The other thing that you want to do is just build know, like, and trust. Like, get the
Mhm.
relationship established because sometimes it takes people time and time again. Like, some people sign up, you'll get a influx of signups the night before because it's just like, oh yeah, it's ending and I've been seeing it. I knew I needed to do it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna do it. And I think like when you put it all together and how you're talking about the lead systems, the emails, and things of that nature, when you have that in place, you can also track. And I always teach people who come to me for business coaching, data is our best friend.
Mhm.
You use that data and you can track where people fell off with you and then ask targeted questions to then figure out your next step in promotion, right? And so it really is detailed. And to be honest with you, if we're going to keep it 100, like we said, it's a real conversation. It's a lot to manage
Mhm.
and it is a lot
Yeah.
to do. And that's why you can't skip where we were with last week, where we're talking about that planning piece. Because if you don't have a plan, at some point, you just gonna get tired of launching, of doing the
Mhm.
launch stuff. And
Yep.
if you got to go back to the plan and say, oh, that was this. And
Yep.
then when we lean into, just like you said, having that sales goal at the top of mind, is just like, well, dang, I ain't did none
Yeah.
of that.
Right.
Why?
And then you feel defeated, right? And then if you're feeling defeated, then what happens? You quit. Now, if you
Yeah.
quit, that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that you're not here to serve the people that's actually waiting for what you have.
Hmm.
So it's a vicious cycle. And so I just say, with all of this, definitely plan, be patient with the process. Be patient with the process, and don't look at, the people who are there already where you want to be, and not really understanding the process of what they had to go through to get there. Not only that, but they have a team of people at this point behind them doing this stuff. Now, if you got hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in ads and a team and all of that, by all means, knock yourself out. Holla at your girl. But if you if you don't, but no, seriously, if you don't, then you already know that you have to do this on your own, and your pathway is going to be very different than those who have those larger budgets to be able to launch, their product or service.
I think you just brought up something so key because when folks are thinking about the promotion piece, they think about the outcome, they think about the profits, right? They think about their passion and purpose and being able to actually navigate and see the fruit of that. But on the other side of that, you talked about the process, which is great. And with that process, that means that you have to plan financially, right? And so if you are going to promote it, you may have to run ads. And the way Instagram and Facebook are changing things so much, they almost force you into
Yeah.
advertisement to get your things seen. And so
Mhm.
as you're running ads, you have to say, okay, I'm giving y'all secrets from, hold on, I'm giving y'all secrets from the leads, launches, sales, and legal protection sales bootcamp. And right now, if you sign up, you can get, a little savings with that code September 18. But I'm giving you this. This is really a secret. Like when you go into this, if you want to make X amount of dollars, then you need to set aside a portion of that for advertisement.
Mhm.
There has to be some sort of investment into what it is that you want to do. There is no place in no business where you don't have investment funds. And I see Cynthia Keel here saying, okay, like, yes, right? Good things that you need to actually implement so that you are able to actually navigate and actually see a level of success. Because again, here comes my heartstrings. I can't stand that faith-based businesses and or Black businesses are always failing or they just disappear suddenly. Why
Yep.
are we disappearing? Oh, I didn't get enough of the right strategy. I went
Mhm.
out there, promise, purpose, focused, without
Mm.
plan and process focus. I
Right.
said something earlier today that I kind of want to lean into, especially for faith based entrepreneurs. It is really about God first processing you. So it is about you and then the thing, but you think about the thing. And so coming into it, if you call yourself a kingdompreneur, a faith-based entrepreneur, you have to understand that there's a protocol to you even getting to a different level of success. And it's going to take some sort of transformation from you. Because again, I was coaching someone earlier, going back to my initial statement. You have to tell yourself, I will show up. You
Yep.
can't say, I'm not making money. I'm not doing this. Did you show up?
Right.
Did
Right.
you go live
Right.
with a targeted content plan?
Right.
I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm preaching to the choir, so
Right.
I'm
So
just gonna
that,
because I'm
yeah, I mean, that all sums up, with the pre-launch. And so, that leads us into the mid-launch. And thank you, I am too major for joining this discussion. Um so when it comes to the mid-launch, the thing is too, we want to make sure that we're conscious of our time when it comes to the launch plan that we have, right? So when we talk about in the beginning what the financial goal is, we also want to be very mindful and strategic when it comes to planning those dates, and the time that we're going to be promoting this launch. Right. And so, that kind of start and that end, and be very kind of rigid with that. And the reason why is because you want to make sure that, again, you're providing that value, and you're creating that sense of urgency for your audience to not just kind of haphazardly decide, kind of, I'm on the fence, I don't really know. No, remember, you have this financial goal to hit, and you know when you want to hit this goal. So set a start and end date when it comes to when you are going to start promoting your launch, and be very, very strategic with that. The other thing too, I have found that's very, very helpful in the whole, within the launch, I should say. um, you want to start thinking about and be, again, strategic. I'm gonna use that word a lot. When, as far as the day that you actually will end your actual launch. And here is why, right? They say it's always good to end your launch like during the weekdays, because people are kind of laxed on the weekends. They're not really taking action. They're really not making too many purchases and that sort of thing on the weekends. They're busy doing other things. But you want to make sure that when the date that you decide that you want to end that launch, you're accounting for those fallouts and those people who might decide a little bit later on, a day later or whatever have you, to actually purchase your product or service, right? Because remember, you're working toward this financial goal that has a number to it and a date to it. So again, you want to think about these things when you're talking about mid-launch. And I don't know, Jim, if you want to add anything else to that.
No, I think we've given the people a lot around promoting it,
Mhm.
and we're sowing seeds, and we have to implore them to go and water the seeds, right? And you water it by further connecting with Malika or myself around what this looks like for you. But I really want to lean into this point around start showing up. Like you
Mm.
really got to start showing up, and you got to show up imperfect in order for you to fail your way to a level of perfection. One of the things, like, we have the English term perfection. I don't know what is happening with me today, but in the past, in the Bible, when you see the word perfect, it actually means maturity, right?
Mm.
And so you have to mature in your launch style. You have to mature in you showing up. You have to mature in you being better and greater. And so if you are not maturing, you're sabotaging the success of Q1 of 2025. And
Mm.
so you think you're actually waiting, but what you're really doing is pushing back your results. And I know someone felt that down in a shot on us. So go ahead over to I Am and More. This code is only active until the end of September 18th, or the 19th, whatever, the next day, for 24 hours. But you have to really work this thing and make sure that you are showing up with your plan, showing up with your data, and showing up with your number, because that's going to give you the leads. That's going to attract the people to you. Then once you have the people attracted to you, then you have people to launch to. Once you have people to launch to, now you have the possibility of increased sales. Well, if you don't legally protect that, then all of your sales could go bye-bye because of your bad contract or no trademark. And so
Mm.
that's why you really got to be at the leads, the launches, the sales, of the legal protection, because this is where it matters, right? And if you do this alone, you get the results of a lone
Yes.
wolf, right,
Ooh,
Malika?
powerful. Yes.
Like,
Yes, yes, yes. And just to add one quick thing, we talked about the 3 stages. I just wanna make sure that I give everybody that the post-launch tip that I like to coach on, and the post-launch is follow-up, right? The
mhm.
fortune is in the follow-up. I've been in sales and marketing for a very, very, very long time, and I know the fortune is in the follow-up. So those people um who didn't sign up for your program, or your who didn't buy or whatever from you, you want to make sure that you have a follow-up strategy and a follow-up plan, to again reel them in, retarget them, and build that relationship to get them on board with you going forward. And all I can say is, honestly, rinse and repeat. Even if you only get one sale the first go around, or no sales, keep doing it. You got to stay consistent. We talked about this last week. We're going to always talk about the consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Just if you rinse and repeat, trust and believe, at some point eventually you're going to hit those goals.
Yep, 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 yep. And in true attorney form, now y'all find at the end, you finally get the attorney. See, we got Cynthia Kill here saying the fortune is in the follow-up. Malika, if you don't go and trademark the fortune is in the follow-up, girl, somebody gonna try and take it from you and gonna take your fortune. Right. And this is where trademarks really come into play for you, right? Anything that's going to be that sticky statement that is going to draw people into you, you might want to trademark it. Anything that is a name that's going to bring you income, you might want to trademark it. And so these are the things that you have to know and you have to be aware of, so that your fortune can follow you. right? Because the strategies and things that we're talking you through right now is really about how do you attract this stuff to you and live from a place. My pastor said this: live from a place of alignment rather than
Alignment.
hustle and grind.
Yes, yes.
Ooh. But the lone wolf gets lone wolf results. And so, I'm going to stop there because we've poured enough. They got to
Yeah.
go and water the seeds.
Yeah. And definitely, reach out for help. It's, Jam talked about earlier, investing in your business. She talked about investing, having a budget for ads. Invest in yourself, invest in your business. Get the help that you want, because that investment is going to turn around, and you'll be able to get that back once you have a team, or, a strategy in place to help you get there. Do not try to do this on your own if you've never done it before. Yeah, it's just trust and believe. I've learned my lesson.
Yep.
Thousands and
Warning label.
thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars later.
Warning label. Or even just like the stress that you bring upon yourself when you
Yeah.
just out here like it didn't work. And I said to my
Defeated, feeling defeated.
I said to my email list this week, it's like you might have heard God say do it, but did you get the instructions for the strategy and then lean into that strategy, right? And so it's just like that lone wolf type of thing. It could really come back and haunt you. But it's been great, y'all.
It has been fantastic. We're going to be back next week again. So make sure you guys tune in next week. We're going to talk about I can't even remember, but
Yep,
it's all in a
it's all in alignment
it's
with
all in
the
alignment with this, right? So
because you ain't got no money if you ain't launching. And we got Deborah Lee talking about absolutely. Cynthia Kills saying thank you, ladies. We are so
thank
happy
you,
to be able
Cynthia.
to support you.
Yes,
So yeah,
yeah,
watch this again. Send it to somebody.
absolutely,
Subscribe.
absolutely. Take some notes. Write some pointers down, and if you have any questions, just definitely reach out to us. Inbox us or whatever have you, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
All right. In the words of Martin, peace.
Bye, y'all.